SIG Sauer X Carry grip frame and the new XCOMPACT grip frame. X Carry has the full-size slide on it. It's a bit of a Franken-SIG. Talked about that in another video. The XCOMPACT is exactly the way it comes out of the box, the way you see it here. Both of them are very nice. I love the grip, and you can see that one is just a slightly miniaturized version of the other. Same exact configuration, same curves and angles and all that. I love the way they both feel, but there's actually one area where they could be improved, and if you know me, you know where that is. But what I found is that the texture on the sides is very good. The texture back here on the back strap and on the front strap is very good. But they've left a couple areas smooth, right up here under the beaver tail and right up here under the trigger guard, that could use a little extra help. This area right back here under the beaver tail is where I think it needs the most help, because the web of my hand, I can actually, when I'm shooting, I can actually feel this gun sort of slipping around. You can see there's not a lot to really, it's harder for me to do that down here because that's grabbing my skin. But up here, it really is able to sort of fishtail a little bit while I'm shooting. And so I find that it also makes my hand want to slip downward a little bit. So I'm really thinking, and again, you know where I'm going with this, right? Talon grip. But I'm thinking that this Talon rubberized grip is going to really help keep my hand in place and take away some of that slipperiness. Now, interestingly enough, this back strap on the Talon isn't going to go all the way up to the beaver tail. You can see there where it's going to reach. And I always do recommend doing a dry fit like this. But it is going to go considerably higher, probably from here up. So it is going to help. And the same thing essentially with the X Carry grip frame. You have that same area of slipperiness right up under the beaver tail and up under the trigger guard. Now, as far as the under the trigger guard portion, Talon is definitely going to improve that because they've got a strip that's going to go right across that. So I love the feel of the Talon rubberized grip anyway. I like the feel of this texture, this E2 texture on the SIG grip. I just think they needed to go a little further with it. So I'm going to put this rubberized Talon grip, one on each. We'll see how much better they are after that. I won't make you watch both, but since this is a brand new gun, the XCOMPACT, and there may be a lot of people out there sort of first discovering the Talon grip, I'm going to go ahead and show you the step-by-step instructions for putting the grip on this pistol. Okay, we start with removing the magazine and the slide. We don't need either of those. It makes the job a little easier and unquestionably makes the job safer. You don't have to worry about the possibility of handling a loaded firearm if you've taken the slide off of it. So I'm using the alcohol wipe little pad that Talon provides, and I'm going to wipe down the grip. I'm going to start with the smooth surfaces, and then I'm going to work my way into the textured part. Now with this texture, I have found that it will get a little bit of material off of the wipe. So sometimes I have occasionally had to take maybe a clean, dry toothbrush or something similar and just brush it over to make sure we're not leaving any fibers underneath. And again, just using an old clean toothbrush. Best way to do that. We are ready to start. So there's kind of two ways you can go here. You can either peel the entire backer off of the Talon, or you can do it in halves or thirds or whatever. I usually will kind of do it in halves. And I always want to start on the left side of the pistol, right? So you'd like to do your dry fit, make sure it's going to fit good, and I've done that in this. This one does fit beautifully. In fact, the folks at Talon have really done a great job of following all the detailed contours for this pistol. So I'm going to peel off about half of the backer. I'm going to go, I think, actually all the way across the back strap, and then I'll cut it so that we have the left half and the back to start with. And it just makes it a little bit easier when you do that, because now you don't have quite so much sticky surface to deal with. Okay, so I've got this part I can handle without worrying about messing up the adhesion. So I'm just going to lay it on there, and you want to line it up with your index points. And whenever you have a window for the logo, that always is a great place to start. But of course it's a circle, so that means we could be perfect and still be off in terms of angle. So you want to still look at the other angles here, other index points, and it looks like we are pretty good. Maybe bring it forward at the bottom just a little bit, because the other point to line up to would be across your mag well. So you can see that if you've got a nice square even line across the bottom, then that's a good indication that you've got it on straight. So I'm just lightly touching it here to sort of tack it down. Now I'm going to come across the back, and we don't want to stretch, we just want to let it wrap tightly. So you want to let it follow its own shape, and come across here, and again just sort of tack it down. And here's where I like to look and be sure that it looks like it's centered, and that's looking good. We have almost a little pointer here pointing to the center, and you can see it is dead on. Okay, so we're looking good there. So, and again, I still have my backer here, so that's not going to stick, and I can wrap that around and see if it looks like that's going to line up. And if that was off, I still have a chance to reposition it. That looks like it's going to be really good. So I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of the backer off and go for broke. And I'm just holding a finger on the back here to keep that from peeling back up as I go this way. And there we go. Now again, I'm going to let that gently wrap around. And as I do, I can sort of guide it in the direction it needs to go. And I'm looking at that window, I'm looking at the line up here. So just check your visual cues. And that's another reason for doing a dry fit, because while you're doing the dry fit, you're not just saying that, yeah, it looks like this is the right grip and it's going to fit, but you want to be looking for, where are my reference points that I want to keep an eye on as I apply this thing, so that I know I'm getting it on evenly and straight. The finger tabs, I just like to start here at the base and just push it gently over and see how it lines up. And sometimes you have to make a little bit of an adjustment. So the bottom one looks really good. The top one, I'm thinking, see, it looks like it's going up at an angle. So I don't necessarily like that, so I'm going to pull it back, and I'm going to position it the way I want it to be. Just about like that. That looks much better, yeah? And you'll see that it will look even better yet when I get the rest of it down. So now we want to go back to where we started on the left edge, and we want to peel that back up. That's why we didn't worry about pushing it down too hard, we just lightly tacked it. So then I'm going to push the finger tabs all the way over. Check them again to make sure I'm happy with how they're lining up. That looks good enough. Because you could still lift that up if you needed to and reposition it. But I'm happy enough with that, so now I'll just lay that back over. And I'm not pushing hard, I'm just sort of gently rubbing it down with my thumbs. Okay. Sort of take a quick look. Looks good. Pretty happy with that. And so now I'll push a little harder and try and get it in position where I need it. And now there's a very important step. Cleaning that you saw me do with the alcohol is probably the first most important step. And making sure your hands are clean. The next important step, arguably the most important step, will be to heat this material up. I use a hair dryer. I'm going to heat that up with a hair dryer and then smush it down. Okay, got it good and warm. And now I am using the Just an Opinion patented smush method, and that is just what you would think smush would mean, and that is just push down, pretty much straight down from every possible angle, paying especially good attention to your seams and your edges, because if it's going to come loose and peel, it's obviously where it's going to start. What a nice fit. I mean, I'm not bragging that I did a good job. I'm just saying what a great job Talon did. Look at that. Just the little details. I will usually do this twice with the heating and the smushing. I won't make you watch me do that twice. So for those of you who have seen me do this 100 times, I apologize if it was boring. For those of you who may be seeing this for the first time, or may be newly introduced to the Talon grip, I hope this was helpful and shows you just how simple it really is to install a Talon grip. Granulate grips that are also available follow the exact same process. And that really does make a difference. It's going to feel so much better. So as I was just doing the heating and now I'm doing the smushing on the X-Carry frame, I was reminded that I have on more than one occasion had comments from gentlemen who are follically challenged saying, hey, I'm a bald guy, and maybe I'm single, or whatever their comment was. Like, I'm a single bald guy. The last thing you're going to find in my house is a hairdryer. So what should I do? So, well, all right. And not everybody has a heat gun, because I've never owned a heat gun in all my life, and I've managed to get along without it. So not everybody needs a heat gun. So I don't know, but I've given it more thought, and I thought, well, you know what? If life gives you lemons, and I'm not saying that being a bald single guy is lemons, but come on, let's be real. Make lemonade, right? So I'm thinking, here's your opportunity to approach a lovely lady that you may already know or may not already know, and just say something like, wow, you have a gorgeous head of hair. You obviously must have a really nice blow dryer. I wonder if you'd allow me to borrow it. Perhaps you could bring it by. Something to that effect. So, always looking out for you guys, trying to help you out. Speaking of which, don't forget to use the Just an Opinion discount code when you buy Talon grips, and you will save some money. I don't get anything back from that. That's just a favor to you. Partially from me, but mostly from the good people at Talon. Although, full disclosure, they do give me these grips for free. I occasionally try to buy them, and then they scold me and give them to me for free. So that's what's up with that. So there we are. We have gone from no Talon grip to rubberized Talon grip on both of these guns. Didn't take long. Quick and easy, and definitely improves the grip, in my opinion. Thanks for watching.